Boom.
Looks like we're on board, buddy.
We are off. What's up?
What's up, Rude?
Oh, typical Saturday.
Mm,
Feeling good, man. Yeah.
feeling
How are you?
good.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just hanging out, getting ready for next week when it's supposed to be over 100 for the next few days.
Yeah, that's not looking forward to that.
Yeah, welcome to summertime.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a couple songs about summertime, I think, out there.
Brutal. How was your trip?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, we went up to Butte, Montana.
Butte.
Yeah,
Lovely Butte, Montana.
if you've never been up to Butte, you should go. It is like a time capsule. It's like the whole city has been trapped in a time warp or time capsule.
I love it, dude.
In a good way,
In a good
not
way.
in a like, yeah. I mean, like all the buildings are historic in the downtown area. You go see these amazing houses that were built. This used to be one of the richest cities in the nation, the first city to ever get electricity throughout the city.
Was it a mining
Yeah,
uptown
yeah.
first? Yeah. Mhm.
They were mining gold and silver, and then they ran across copper. They didn't know what to do with it because copper obviously is for electrical conduction, but that wasn't in existence yet.
Yeah.
So once that kind of got in, then the town really boomed, and this was like in the late 1800s, 1890s, something like that. And that's when the town really started to boom, and so they had all of this copper that they pulled out of the ground, and they had guys, the Copper Kings, they called them, people like uh, I think it was Charles Clark. It was Clark. He had the Clark Mansion. They now call the Copper King Mansion. We stayed in that one time. That was trippy because it was just a time. It's going back in time. Your time warp. You're just sitting there going in this place and just antiques everywhere. But the town
Yeah.
is really cool. It's a
It's so
rowdy
cool.
little town,
Yeah.
but it's really cool. They're filming 1923 or Yellowstone, one of that series
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
there. Yeah, and they use one of the streets called Broadway, which is up kind of halfway up the town there, and it's really cool. But yeah, it's awesome, and we had a great time. It's a little chilly. This next week they're going to be up into the 80s. We barely hit 70, I think, for a high.
Ooh, that's kinda nice though, man.
It was nice. It was
Nice. Yeah,
nice. A little chilly, but it was nice.
especially to get out of, the hundreds here and, drop into the 70s a little jacket weather.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was a little chilly. We had to put our sweatshirt on. I'm not gonna lie.
Very
It was
nice.
chilly. But it's fun. They put the fireworks on the 3rd.
Oh,
Because when the mining companies would have their workers, and there's a whole thing. I mean, man, once you learn some history about this, you learn more and more and more. You
I
just find
love
out,
it,
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
But yeah, so the miners usually were working anywhere from 8 to 16 hour shifts, whether that was pre or post unions coming in. So these guys used to work 16-hour shifts in the mines.
Damn.
I mean, we went down another in the mine tour we've done before, but we went actually they added a little bit further. We went farther down over 100 feet.
Oh, really? That's
And it was,
cool.
and it was only
Dude, I've never
100
been
feet.
on one of those mining tours. I wanna
Oh my God.
go so bad.
Dude, you got to do it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So we go down about 100 feet. The water table in Butte is very high, so they have to constantly pump out the water or the mines will flood.
Mhm.
So there's a danger right there.
Yeah, right.
So you go in and do that. But some of the mines, there's one mine that is called the Mile High, Mile Deep. This thing goes down 5,280 feet. They
Damn.
say once you're around 45 to 4,800 feet, the temperature in the mine gets to be like 140 to 180 degrees. I mean, it's
Like
hot
you're
as
down by the
hell.
core of the
Oh,
earth. That's
they would
cool as
have these guys come down, work for like 10 minutes, do their thing, and then back out of the area, put an ice pack on. How they got the ice pack to stay in there and the little ore cars that they would, have and full of ice water and stuff. 10-minute shifts, and they'd be out for a half hour or more farther away, wherever they could be, but icing up because they were still way down there. Rocks hold the heat incredibly well.
Wow.
So you've
Yeah.
got I guess you've got the mantle. You got
Yeah.
the lava,
Yeah,
the
you're
mantle coming up. It's
pretty close
heating
to the
through,
crust there.
yeah, heating through thousands of feet of rock until you hit the surface. And I can't remember the thickness of the crust of the earth. Is it 10 miles, 20 miles, something?
I don't know. I
Can't remember. Anyway, but it's close enough that you get that. So the higher up you go, it gets a little cooler, but it's just brutal working conditions. Yeah, you have things where they're trying to, put sticks of dynamite in the rock to, blow it up so they can continue on and try to find these. I mean, it's so cool, dude. You
That
got to
is
go
so
there.
cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I
I'm
mean,
glad
it,
you had
it is
fun, man.
history.
I love it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that kind of history. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of a history buff myself, but I love kind of just different kind of history. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not necessarily U.S. history or
Right.
anything like that, but I love like ancient history. I love this kind of history, like history
Oh
about
yeah.
towns.
Oh yeah.
Really fucking cool. I love that kind of shit.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's a living history, really. And we're going to talk about this guy here in a minute, but it is, yeah, it's kind of a living history where you are there in the town and you see what's going on, and it's in a time capsule. I swear. I mean, these buildings are unbelievable, built with real material, not molded um,
Yeah. Prefab
architecture,
bullshit.
prefab bullshit. Yeah, it's real stuff brought over from Italy and Europe and everywhere, and it's amazing. Some of this
Real
shit's
bricks and mortar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
real
kick-ass.
marble. Yeah, it's just crazy, crazy weird. Well, let's get into this, my brother. Um,
Yeah, let
we're
me, let
actually
everybody know what we're gonna chat about today. I'm
yeah,
excited.
we're gonna talk about a couple things. I think what we're gonna really first focus on is, uh, Pride Month is, over now. We survived it. It's a Christmas miracle, just about that, that's out there, and I just kinda sit there and I just say, I mean, we all have family members and friends who are, gay, part of the LGBT community, or I like to say LGB community, um, because it really is um, something where you have to wonder. It's like I don't want to be, labeled as somebody who's homophobic because I'm not homophobic. I'm not
And
any of that.
yeah, and you're not insensitive to it, you
No,
know.
absolutely not. No,
I'm
I
not
could.
either.
We've got neighbors and friends and other family members who are all love them to death and they're awesome. I just sit here and I just am wondering, why do we have to do a whole month of
Mhm.
celebration of people's sexual orientation or people's sexual preference, stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
I
it's
don't
just, yeah.
yeah, I think it's overdone. And I think maybe I mean, a day, we
Hmm.
talked about this, with my brother where, you've got veterans, they get a day. You
Yeah.
got mothers, they get a day. You got
Right.
fathers, they get a day. Stuff like that, like,
We
really
celebrate 4th of July on one day,
on
the
one day. Independence of our
independence.
country, one
Yeah.
day. And I don't understand why they need a month, and I don't understand
Yeah.
why a nod was given for a month, because, like you said, it's a celebration of sexual preference, and I
Right.
don't understand how that is so much more important than
Right.
these other figures that are kind of foundations.
Well, yeah, because if Mother's Day and Father's Day, for example, if it wasn't for moms and dads, none of us would be
None
here.
of us would be here, yeah. If you wanna go that far down the line, none of us would be
Yeah,
here.
last time checking, I mean, maybe a lesbian couple, for example, can get impregnated and they can have a child, but two guys are having a surrogate, bring a child into the world for them to
Well,
adopt. And
still, at the same time, okay, they're mothers and mothers, okay?
right,
Celebrate Mother's Day,
right,
both of you. They're fathers
yeah,
and fathers.
yeah. I have
Celebrate Father's Day, both of
no
you. Great.
no
It's
problem with
there
that.
for you to celebrate, but I don't
Yeah,
understand why it's gotta be shoved down my throat for a whole month.
right.
That, with parades and news coverage and all this kind of bullshit, and really it got disgusting in
Mhm.
San Francisco and Ontario, for some of their stuff,
Oh yeah,
because of the nude parade and
yeah,
that kind of stuff where they take it that far.
yeah,
And I'm not saying I'm blaming the whole community, but
right.
those people are representing your community.
Or that, yeah, right,
And what bothers
exactly,
me is that the authorities just turn a blind eye. They said, "Well,
right.
they're not committing any lewd acts." The
Oh
whole
yeah.
fucking thing is a lewd act.
What did
Am
was
I
that the
wrong?
was that the interview that the guy did of the two lady cops in San Francisco?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they look like they were. I mean, the
they look like they
talented,
were
like
from
they were
Lesbia as
lesbian cops.
well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But there's no excuse for that. You know what I
Right.
mean? That
No.
puts such a bad label on that community
Right.
and just a smear that it just kind of makes you fucking sick. I'm sorry, and I'm
Oh,
sorry to
yeah.
curse, but my goodness sakes,
Yeah.
man, it was very upsetting, especially because the children were there,
Right.
and it's blatantly done without any regard to how the children see that and react, and
Mhm.
the scars that are going to be put on those children, and
Right.
that is really what sticks in my cross so bad about that, man.
Well, yeah, you've got a couple, younger, gals living at your house
Yes,
yourself. They're
yes.
what, in their, 8, 10 years old,
12 and
give or
9,
take? 12 and 9,
12
yeah,
and
right
9, yeah.
there. And they're just impressionable. Now,
So
I have no problem if you're 21 and over and you go to a drag show that's at a 21 club, you can't be in there,
you're an adult,
or
do what the fuck you
you're an
want.
adult, exactly, but once you start pushing this stuff like the drag queen library reading hour, that they're doing all
Mhm.
over the country. Now, if you haven't heard that that's what they're doing, you need to look it up, because you have to wonder, why is this being allowed? Why is this being accepted? Why are we putting our young, elementary school age or younger even kids in a library where why does a drag queen have to read to them? I don't get that shit. I
Yeah.
don't fucking get it. It just is, you're right. It's just insane.
How
And
how come
you
it
know,
just can't be, um, John Johnson that's coming
right.
to read
Yeah. Well,
you a
don't
story?
let's not John Johnson. He's got a little bit of a name there. How about John Williams?
John Williams, okay.
Yeah. I
But
just
yeah,
wonder whether that was a stage name, John Johnson, but I just
uh,
maybe we
yeah, I didn't
should
think
maybe
that one
John
out clear
Williams is okay.
enough. John Williams, yeah.
Dave. Dave's coming to read to you kids
Patrick
tonight.
Patrick Smith, he's gonna be here reading for you today. You know what I
Right.
mean? We don't have to say Patrick Smith, the drag queen
Drag
with the
queen.
stage name John Johnson,
Right.
is coming down to read to you today. No, you don't have to do that. It's
No.
it's it's Patrick Smith. He's got a story that he's gonna read you about. It's
Yeah.
the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, and he's not
That's
gonna be dressed up in freaking
exactly,
drag
and find
makeup and wigs and outfits and all that shit.
see, and I don't understand why that they can't, some of those people can't just be a human. You can
Right.
be a human and you can prefer what you prefer behind
Mhm.
closed doors with your sexuality. It doesn't have to be your persona, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to wear a fucking flag about it
Right.
everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, well, and I don't even mind as much, because this is the whole point, is they wanna be who they are, but, okay, you don't see heterosexual couples all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some that, and we all sit there and we chastise them. Get a room, or
Yeah.
hey, not in public. There's kids around. I mean, we even do that with heterosexual couples. Why is it okay for a gay couple, man or woman, to be able to do all this? It's not about the equality of things, which I'm all about. If you have a partner, we have my sister and her girlfriend are. We have neighbors across the street, and one of them's working a job where they can have benefits for the other one. Absolutely, why the hell not? I'm
Mhm.
all for that. That's totally fine. And I love the fact that they can actually walk around and be who they are and not get completely chastised everywhere they go and ridiculed and made fun of. Now, that's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. There are going to be people who just will not accept it, who will sit
You
there.
know
They
how
will,
many you know how many Mexican jokes I get during the week?
wait, you're Mexican?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
a half
sure.
breed. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I gotcha.
It's
Well,
the
and
same
here's, but
thing.
here's
But
my
do
thing. It's like, okay, so my former business partner was part Native American, and he would always just say his Indian name was Dances with Whiskey.
I
I mean,
love it. I love it.
it's like perfect. And I'm like, hey, I'm the drunken Irishman. I want a beer. Oh yeah, I know. Shocker. Yeah, I know.
Yes, Shocker.
Stop freaking
Scratch
getting
in the back.
offended by everything. Own it. Take the stereotype and run with it, and have a good
Embrace
time
it.
with it. Embrace
Yeah.
it. It's a stereotype for a reason, and it's
It's
okay.
been done for hundreds of years. Like,
Yeah,
get over yourself. You're
yeah.
not that important. And to be honest with you, nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Boom! Just blew your mind.
Yeah,
No one cares.
flying rat's
No
ass
one
about it.
cares, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, and so it's like, I'm totally fine with my friends, my family, people we know who are gay, or whatever, but I've even had my sister say, and I think a lot of people are getting this, is the LGB we're totally fine with. Even the B, I'm kinda like, still, it's like, you're
They
kinda
keep adding letters to it. I
anything.
don't
Yeah.
even refer to it as that anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, but she's like, "Well, you know what? It's the damn T's, and it's not all of them. Everybody calm down for 1 second.
Oh,
It's
no,
not
you
all the
blaming on the
T's."
T's.
I
I
don't
the
care if you're a tranny. I don't care if you walk in. I worked at some places and some guys walking in dressed as they're a woman. Immediately, obviously, they're
you
a guy,
yeah, yeah,
and it's like, stop pretending. I treated him like any other human being. Like, how you doing? What do you need? Blah blah blah. And I didn't give a rat's. And then you coach, you look, it's like, are you trying to fool somebody, or you just, this is real, whatever. It's like, but you have to understand that if you go out there wearing something that's out of the ordinary, you're going to get looked at. If I wear like a really super bright yellow or bright
I've
orange
is
shirt golfing or
this
something like
fast.
that,
Yeah.
you're going to get, I mean, don't freaking wear it then if you don't want people looking. It's like somebody who has, you've got some tats.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm
Yeah.
inked up or whatever, and people are like, "Hey, what are you looking at me for?" Dude, I'm looking at your ink. What's the meaning behind it? I mean, is
Yeah.
it just something you did to, I mean, if you don't want, wear long sleeves, wear something to cover it up if you're embarrassed by people looking at you, you know?
Right. And if you don't if you don't wanna have the intelligent conversation about it when people ask questions, then
Right,
like I said, then don't wear the fucking don't wear the flag, you know what I mean?
right.
And it's kind of like it's one of those things. I like it, you know what I mean? It's a
Yeah,
conversation starter.
absolutely, yeah.
Cashiers, they are
Especially to the
notorious.
ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
What's your favorite tattoo? A guy asked me yesterday,
Yeah.
no, at the golf course.
Oh, yeah,
We were golfing and we were checking in. And the guy's like, "Dude, I see you in there all the time." He's like, "I've been wanting to ask you, what is your favorite tattoo
yeah,
that you have?" And I was like,
yeah,
and that's a question that I don't get asked very often. I get a
right.
lot of what does that one mean? What is that? Who's that on your
Yeah,
arm? Because I have a couple
yeah,
portraits on one of my arms, and but this one is a question that I don't get very often. And the guy's like, "What's your favorite tattoo?" And I stopped. I had to think for a minute,
wait a minute, yeah,
and I was like, "You know what? My favorite one is actually on my chest because I
yeah,
have my chest done, and it's kind of it's for my girls.
right,
I have a big piece done, and I have birds representing both of them.
nice.
And that's my favorite one. That is hands down my favorite one.
Is it not the one that says "No regrets"? Is that the one?
No
That's the one I think.
regrets.
No
Yeah, I got
regrets
that one on
across
the
the
small on
top.
my back, yeah, when I was, like,
Yeah,
18. It says no
speaking of
regret.
that, we're gonna make a T-shirt to put it on Rude Barn or Etsy.com/shop/ the Rude Barn website. I'm gonna make a "No regrets" shirt
Yeah.
so people can get that. I still think
It's
that's
gotta be no
hilarious from We're the
regrets.
Millers.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be no regrets.
There's no, yeah, no regrets or something like that. It's like, "Are you sure there's nothing that you regret?" Yeah, nothing. Not
Not
one
one
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Think
yeah,
about that.
no.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect,
but
yeah,
no, I feel your pain on that,
yeah,
and I stand in the same circle with you on that, because I just I don't understand why it has to be blown so far out of proportion, and why we have to be forced to care about it. You know what I mean?
right, and this, okay, so this year, our daughter and her boyfriend, had us, my wife and I would go down to, one of the little bars downtown, and it was fun. Everybody was dancing, everybody's, you see the weirdos walking down the street. No, I'm sorry, if you're wearing those masks that have the little dog, jowls and everything on it, and you're in these little tight shorts and you have a little tail behind, how does that represent you wanting equality of life and to live who you are and what you are? Isn't that just going off the deep end into another realm
Mhm.
that is like, behind your closed doors, you do all that all you want.
Yeah.
But if you want to be respected, if you want people to truly embrace the fact that you are who you are and it doesn't matter, we don't really give a rat's what you are and what you do, and that you have this and you should be treated like anyone else. But when you go overboard, when you go beyond, when you go doing that stuff, it just crosses a line. And
Well,
it's pushing that boundary way past what you really were originally wanting.
and it really, I mean, if, if there's anybody from that community listening, it really degrades your whole foundation and basis of why you
Right.
want what you're doing, and really the baseline
Mhm.
behind your movement, you know what I
Right.
mean? It really degrades it. It puts a damp shadow on it, and it really kind of turns people off, you know what I mean?
It muddies
And
the waters,
it does, it really does.
you know? Yeah.
It really does.
And I don't know if you've noticed it this year, but I was just like, okay, so my wife and I went down there, we did the thing, we had a great time, it was a lot of fun. Uh, but I've noticed, and maybe it's just me, I mean, I don't go out of my way normally, but I just have you noticed that this year there seems to be, thank goodness, a lot less of this in your face as much as it's been over the last few years. In other words, I don't see it was the first weekend of June, June 6th weekend or whatever it was. And I said, you know what? This is fine. This is perfect. Great. Had a great time. It was awesome. Weekend, June 6th, 7th, or whatever, and done. Call it, I'm good. Done. You know.
Hmm.
But I haven't noticed as much the overly pushing of the flag, this, that, and the other, the rainbow, this, that, and the other, there, all this stuff nearly as much. I think stores have cut it back. I think Target, I hope, learned their lesson of
Yeah.
those tuck it outfits for children where they can tuck their junk in their pants or whatever the thing. Like, oh my god, this is we've gone overboard at this point. And again, you are now pushing this on our children, and that is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's something that is unacceptable. Um, you know, to be honest, I have kind of seen the pullback a little bit.
Yeah.
However, I listen to and watch a lot of media, so I've seen it. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
been there. However, like, just kind of in your face in my daily interactions, you're right.
Seems
I have
seems to be a little yeah,
yeah, it seems to be a little less pushy in your
yeah.
facey, which but I've enjoyed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Honestly, it's been nice,
Because
and there hasn't been a parade or a some sort of function every day somewhere,
right,
and that seems like it's been like that in the past. I mean, at least it's felt like
right.
that. Maybe it hasn't been that extreme. However, like with bars and restaurants, and that's another thing too. I do a lot of promotion for bars and restaurants a lot, in my daily work. And I was doing that stuff and having to see that stuff constantly.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been as much this year. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it's like you come into end of May and Memorial Day, and you're like, okay, beginning of summer, cool. And then you got to start off. You're like, oh,
You're like, oh shit.
June. All I have to deal with seeing all this shit everywhere, all the time, in my face, pushed in my face. If I don't accept it, then I'm treated as like I'm a homophobe or
Right.
whatever, which is
Or I'm
not the case
insensitive
at
to
all.
it, which is not the case. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, stop pushing it. You can put a little flag in your window. You can do this, that, and the other. But you got like freaking BMW changing their logo and putting the rainbow stripes through their logo, and Coca-Cola and every other company in the world. And it's just
Budweiser.
like, yeah, it's like, let's virtue signal some more, shall we? Come on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is it just this 1 month that you're actually going to deal with the patronage of the gay community, or is it just like every day?
Y-
Stop it. Every day
Yeah. Why
would
can't you
be
just say you support them
yeah,
overall and just be over it?
because you're
Yeah.
really isolating the people who aren't. You're really kind of like, I love my family and friends who are gay, but my God, it's just I'm starting to resent seeing that. She's like, oh, here we go
I
again.
I think it's funny too, because there are still I still have friends that will not drink Budweiser anymore, or
Oh,
Bud Light, or
Bud
any
Light,
of
yeah.
any of the Anheuser Busch products,
Well, first of
because
all, it's shitty beer, but yeah.
well, yeah, it's not the
Yeah,
greatest beer, but
yeah.
however, these were long time these were
But we
lifelong
used to, yeah.
rednecks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
especially
used
the
to drink it
rednecks
all the
that
time.
I hang out with, dude, like, they
Right.
were lifetime
Yeah.
Bud guys,
Yeah.
and they won't do it anymore. They
No.
won't touch it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, yeah.
You know, companies like that, and like you mentioned, Target, like, they got hurt in the
Mhm.
pocketbook
Oh, yeah.
when that stuff went down. And, but that was their choice, so it's
Yeah.
kinda like, you gotta kinda roll with those punches.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, all it is a marketing push.
Sure,
Let's sell Bud Light with a rainbow on the package because
sell the
it's
case.
special,
Sure,
and all that, and it's a way to push. I understand that being in the business, of course, but at the same time, it's always the constant in your face. And if you don't sit there and you don't appreciate it, and you don't support it, you don't put your flag up on your car or on your house or whatever,
then all
all
of
of
a
a sudden
sudden
you're
you're a
this, and this is the farthest thing from the truth.
yeah,
And
agree.
and it's just like, no, I don't want to sit there. And when my own sister sits there and says, "Oh my God, I talked to this gay guy today. He was so overly flamboyant. It was
Poignant.
disgusting."
Yeah,
That's my
and this
my
is just
gay sister saying that.
yeah,
So there comes a point where you're just like, and speaking of that night, that day we went downtown, the we went in and the bartender, and it was this black guy, and he had the kind of the fake dreads, and he was like, "Oh, geez, so good," and all that stuff, and "What can I get you?" and blah 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 blah. When the crowd of the people were there. Well, I went back. Nobody was there at the bar waiting for him, and I went to get a bar and said, "Hey, how's it going? Can I get a this, and this, or whatever I was getting?" And it was funny because he didn't. Now, obviously, he could tell I wasn't, but he didn't act that way, which
he didn't
tells
put on the
me
show, yeah,
you people are putting on a performance
mhm,
all the fucking time. And it's like, I get it. You're around your friends, you get happy, and you do your little things. And when you're with other people, you do this. It's the same with our friends group and being with parents. You act one way with these people and one way with these people. But to see, I mean, if you're going to do this thing, you can do it. But it was just kind of funny. I'm just like, oh, all of a sudden you're just kind of acting normal. Why can't you just do that?
just do that.
Why do you have to be so overly flamboyantly gay that it's just disgusting? And I hate to say it, but a lot of these girls, a lot of these women out here who are family and friends, and the younger kids love it. They just love it and they encourage it, and that's why these guys do it. I'm like, oh my God, doesn't it kind of? Now,
Yeah.
of course, I'm going to
What
show that I'm an old fuddy duddy or some bullshit like that, but it's like,
but
I don't care if you are, but why do
but at the
you
same
have to be so overly flamboyant? I don't get
yeah.
it.
I mean, you don't see flamboyant straight
Yeah,
folks, like, I'm not out there, doing cartwheels and, and
overly pushing my testosterone on you.
yeah, exactly. Like handing you an M4 every time I'm here, we gotta go shoot guns, hit
I don't
baseballs, you
care
know what I
if
mean?
I don't care if you disagree with us or you agree with us. Throw something in the comments and let us know why you think it should be one way or the other, or why you think we're right, why you think we're wrong. That's fine. You can disagree with me. Totally fine.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I'm a big believer in, number 1, being yourself. Just be yourself,
Yeah,
okay? You don't have to put on a show. And number
right.
2, I'm a big believer in just kind of, let people do what they do, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Let people be them. Um, but it comes to a point where, you know what I mean, where you're forcibly putting on a show and
right.
or a poor performance that's unnecessary. It's
Yeah,
completely unnecessary, and we see it, we know it's phony, we know it's fake. Just stop. You don't have to
yeah,
do that to be
yeah,
liked in that community or liked outside that community. All you're doing is shunning people away from you, and it really it like I said before, it really puts a bad taste in people's mouth
yeah.
for you. You know what I mean? Because you're not
Exactly.
that way. You're not performing.
Right.
You're not on a stage. You're not to just be a human, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Let
care
your
if you
real
talk
personality
with a
come out.
lisp and all
It's
this
not
stuff,
crap.
but Yeah, you can say I'm gonna talk with a lisp like this or whatever, but then you're gonna talk with a lisp like this. I mean, there's a
Well, even
difference,
the lisp
you
thing
know.
is a performance. You
Of
know what I
course it
mean?
is.
No one
Do
talks like that on
are all
you
gay
know,
are all gay guys just have a predisposition for talking
for
like
the
this?
lisp. Yeah, how did you get the
Just say
lisp?
my
Okay.
S's like this.
Yeah. I don't
It's like,
it's
it's
ridiculous.
performance art. Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, drama queens.
Yeah. Keep
So
believing on the stage.
yeah, okay. So here's the interesting thing I also want to note too, because it's really interesting. You're accepting of the gay community and your friends and family who are, and same with me and
Of
most
course.
others. So no, we're not homophobic people.
Yeah, we're not.
Um, but it's very interesting the difference between like a conservative gay person and the liberal gays, and how so many of these people are just kind of brainwashed into the agenda,
Yeah.
and that agenda, whatever, pushing it on kids, whatever, recruitment, grooming, whatever you want to call it. And it's just kind of crazy. So here is a quick video. Now the guy interviewing is going to be kind of interesting. Listen to what he says, even though he's dressed up in this kind of drag outfit. He is a conservative drag queen who is educating the queens for Palestine.
The
And
queens for
it is just like, and it's like gays for Palestine. Hey, dumbass, do you not know what you just said?
Do you know that Palestinians hate gays?
Right.
You
Do you
know that?
realize
Because if you
they,
don't know that, I'm telling you right now,
right.
you would get stoned to death for being gay, openly gay in
Yeah.
Palestine right now,
It was
today.
ISIS and the Taliban who would throw gays off of rooftops
Yes,
to
they
their
would.
deaths.
Hmm.
Okay. So
And they're still doing that to women.
yeah, they
You know what I
stone
mean?
women to death if they don't have their hijab on or their
Yeah.
burqa or whatever it
You
is.
get out of line there and you
Mhm.
break the law, which the laws are staggeringly ridiculous for women.
Misogynistic.
Oh yes,
I think
hardcore.
the family pet is a higher status than the wife.
Yeah, and if you step out of line, they will stone you to death. They will
Oh
kill
yeah,
you.
yeah. No, not
But
all. I
don't
get it, but
I
there's a hell
and
of a lot of them who are very devout in this religious practice.
yes, they are. And this is the thing is what people don't realize in America here in this woke community is that you don't realize that those people um are not they're not thankful that you're doing these things because
Right.
they are against your practices and policies.
Yeah. It's like, no, don't support us. We don't support you. We hate you. We will just as soon kill you as look at you.
Right?
So don't support gays supporting. No, don't.
Don't.
And it's just amazing. So let's
Wow.
play this little video real quick. It's only a minute and so 20 seconds long, and this guy tries to explain to this uneducated queen for Palestine who's supporting of gays supporting Palestine, and kind of putting her in her place and educating her on the reality of the situation. So let's
Yeah,
listen to this real quick.
And so I did a study abroad in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine.
Would you say you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
Pro-Palestine.
As a gay man, I would be punished and or put in prison or killed if I were openly gay in Palestine. How do you react to that?
I didn't know that.
Of course you didn't.
So
It is illegal to be gay in Palestine. You are punished by prison or death.
Israel?
No, Israel has gay pride. Israel is completely open to lesbian and gay people. Palestine puts them in prison or kills them. You weren't aware of that?
I was not aware of that, no. So that does pose an interesting aspect.
Have you seen the Queers for Palestine movement? It's a very common movement, but I don't see any Muslims for queer movements.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's where
Good
it
question.
gets gray, right? Like that's where I feel
Well,
like
for me, it's not gray. I am fearful of Islam because there is no Islamic country on earth that embraces me as a gay man.
It's true.
So okay. So maybe I'm confused because Israel, which is still an Islam country, right?
No.
Islam?
Jewish.
Okay.
So Israel's Jewish, Palestinians are Islamic.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It just amazes me.
See, that's what I'm talking about. These people are so uneducated about this stuff that they don't even know what religions these people are.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're following the narrative that the media pushes out at
Exactly.
them.
And they've done none of their own research. And
Well, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do your own research. Didn't COVID teach you
my
that?
God, that is staggering.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
it's shocking. It is truly shocking.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have this
Love it.
moron right here. What's going on here? Let's listen to this shit because I haven't.
Great again. Make America great again. Woo! God bless America. 2020.
See? Okay, so here's an interesting thing when I was watching these is that you've got these gay people, which are being embraced by the MAGA side, if you want to call it, the conservative side. But they're gay, so doesn't that go against the whole conservative Christian right, blah 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 movement that everybody's complaining that, oh no, it's just the Democrats, it's just those on the left who love them. It doesn't matter. Do people not get it? That it doesn't matter if you're black, you're gay, you're Mexican, you're whatever. If you're a conservative, you might as well be on an island somewhere in the middle of nowhere because they don't want you as part of they're not inclusive. They're only inclusive if you agree with their agenda and their talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sad part. And there was another video, I couldn't find it right now, but there's another video of a gay guy who was on a TikTok video and he was talking exactly about that. He was a very devout liberal Democrat and then realized after a while, because he didn't believe in all of their philosophy, he believed in making this country a wonderful place for people to come to, for you to work at and have a better life in. That just because he was conservative, all of a sudden he was getting chastised, he was getting ridiculed, he was getting just beat down by yeah. And he had said, you know what, I am not up for that. And I thought that they were inclusive. I thought that they were part of, my movement or whatever, but they're not. If you're conservative, forget it. And that's kind of what's been happening with a lot of this. Look at all the Ben Carson, prime example. He's not real animated, but he's smart as a whip. I mean, he knows his shit and should have been the Surgeon General, not the HUD chairman back in the time when Trump was in. But he is ridiculed. Clarence Thomas, black Supreme Court justice, they get ridiculed. It doesn't matter if they're black. They get ridiculed because they're conservative. And they look at the values of people, smaller government, having the freedom to do your thing and not have the government intrude into your lives at every aspect, take away your rights and shit like that. And with this whole gay pride thing, it's not about that. It's about an agenda of something, grooming something, I don't know, taking your kids. And I support my gay friend, my gay family members and things like that. But this whole LGBTQ plus AI, LMNOP movement is ridiculous.
The thing that's bothering me is that, they are grooming. And what is upsetting is that you have the groomers grooming these kids that are 18, 19, 20, early 20s, these impressionable kids that that are young adults.
Right.
They're still trying to find out their place in the world. And I understand, what I mean? Those are rough ages, especially, if you don't have any direction.
Right.
Those are rough ages. And I get it. You know what I mean? Trying to find your muse, trying to find your direction, trying to find a job you love. You know what I mean? Trying to find a partner you love. Trying to survive in this shitty economy. I get it. Yeah, it's rough. It's super rough. But when you're influenced with this kind of doctrine and being so uninformed and uneducated about it and its agenda, it's really upsetting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because these kids will go along with anything. It's like the damn protests at the colleges, you know what I mean? They will go along with anything without having any prior knowledge or doing their own research, and just to be a
Yeah.
part of something, you know what I mean? And half of them don't even know what the hell they're there for.
Right. Well, exactly. And it's like and if you try to ask them, so hey, so what's the deal with this? Why are you out here protesting? And they'll just continue to chant their lines.
That they've been given.
Hey, ho, we don't blah, 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 blah. Hey, ho.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up.
Well, why are you doing this? Do you really believe this? And you
Yeah.
can tell that they have to step back and you know what I mean, and then just go
Right.
on with that
With their little narrative,
planted
their
agenda.
line.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that planted little narrative.
Yeah.
And then what does that lead to? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the scary thing.
Right.
Leads
And
to school
you
shooters.
try to get that conservative drag queen guy to explain it to somebody who might be protesting. At least that girl is willing to listen, thank God.
Yeah.
And so
That
she at least
was a good video.
learned from
I hadn't seen that video. That was a good video.
Yeah, I stumbled across that one. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this might be kind of a good one to show.
Yeah.
But these people just they don't get it. That you can't talk to them. They're being paid. Yes, they are being paid by somebody, by some group, by some organization to go out there and be mindless jackasses. It's like the no oil people over in Europe.
That was so
sit,
stupid. These people were
sit
so
in front of
stupid.
Oh, did you see
They
the
were
dude
wearing
that put
sneakers. It's so dumb.
Did you see
They
the
drove
dude that put
very
his
far.
hand in a thing of cement that hardened on the freeway through the thing?
So dumb. They rode scooters. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Come on,
It's like,
man.
do you not realize that everything on your person right now, in one form or another, was made from oil?
It started from oil. So stupid.
Jackasses. Oh, anyway. Well, this leads kind of right into our next topic, which I'm going to kind of jump into, and it's kind of touching on what we've done before, and it's kind of the whole Caitlin Clark, because the WNBA is full of. I'm trying to think kind of people there. Oh, that's right, a lot of same-sex women.
Yeah.
Oh, lesbians. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, and so they're jealous of a, and I think Caitlin Clark is a decent-looking woman. I don't think she's necessarily really attractive. I think she's, fairly decently attractive, but she's a straight
Not
white
my type,
girl.
but it was whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a straight white girl
She
who,
can whoop my ass in basketball, that's for sure.
yeah, and you know what? She won the scoring title even over Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete Maravich
Yeah.
back in the day. Like that's okay, fairly impressive. And so here she is kind of getting in there, and people were watching the NCAA finals when she was in there playing, LSU's Angel Reese, who is just a stupid bitch. I'm sorry. She's a pretty gal she's a pretty black gal. I think she's gorgeous.
Yeah,
But she's got a head that's full of fucking muck and mire. I swear to God, she is such a jealous little piece of shit.
Well, she's been poisoned somewhere,
Oh my
somehow.
God.
It's really sad because she could be such a better role model.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
it's
dare I say she's a little racist.
Yeah.
But she is.
Black. Yeah, that's horseshit. You are racist.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no such thing as reverse racism. It's just racism. And yes, black people and Hispanic people and Asian people can also be racist.
Yes.
Persians, the Arabs, and all that, they also can be. Everybody can be racist.
Everybody can be racist, no matter what color you are.
Yeah, so grow the fuck up, people. Listen, you come on. So anyway, so this goes into the thing. My whole point, and why I like to bring this back up, because it kind of ties as well, is that these other women in the WNBA are so pent up and jealous. Now, is it because she's a little white girl who actually is playing well? Is there something else behind it? I don't know. You'll never know the true the true reasons behind this. You'll hear things like, oh well, she's this, that, and the other, or there was a feud between Angel Reese from LSU and Caitlin Clark from Iowa when they were doing the finals, and it's like, oh my God, are you that fucking stupid that you just sit there and have this feud because you lost to them in the finals and yada yada? It's like, oh my God. But look, dumbasses, Caitlin Clark is making $75,000 in the WNBA, which is probably half of what the highest paid WNBA player is making. Okay,
Yeah.
the WNBA has been irrelevant for 30 years, being subsidized by the NBA.
Yeah,
Who
they
have
really have
lost? Yeah, they have lost money on this league for 30
consistently.
years. Every
Mhm.
single year they've been in existence. All of a sudden, somebody comes, and I don't care if Caitlin was, white, black, yellow, brown, whatever. The fact
Yeah,
remains is she's an excellent player who can hit the three from almost anywhere on the court.
yeah, no kidding.
And what she has done is she has brought eyeballs and butts in the
Butts
stand.
in the seats. Yep.
Okay, so these short-sighted, jealous, whatever the reasons are why they hate her, are really stupid people because they
Mhm.
don't understand the impact that she's going to have with their game and with their league. I'm a little pissed off with her Indiana Fever coach, whatever, can't remember her name. She's a white gal, so why is she, all against Caitlin Clark? I have no idea, but she seems to be. She kind of stands behind her and then kind of doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a jealousy thing. It's at
Yeah.
least what it seems like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Caitlin has these endorsements from various companies like Nike or whatever. I can't remember who exactly it is. And she's going to be making, millions of dollars on these endorsements and only hundreds of thousands in the
And
actual
yeah, for her
WNBA.
paycheck. Yeah.
But what happened is another WNBA player got an endorsement. The other NBA teams are now starting to fly charter instead of commercial or taking buses to the closer games that they might be playing against. There's only 12 teams left in this WNBA league, by the way. There used to be, 20 something, I think. Anyway,
Hmm.
but and so what she's bringing to the table is there's been sellout arenas. There have been fans, her jersey sales have been going up, and other people as well. The rivalry between her and the Angel Clark and that stupid Kennedy, or I like to call her Kennedy Carter, pulling that bullshit. There's playing hard. There's the whole rookie indoctrination that you get to go through. Indoctrination is not the right word, but
Yeah.
the whole
Hazing.
the
Yeah.
whole hazing thing, and I get it, but you do that while you're playing. You might get a hard foul while you're going up for the hoop. You might get this, that, or the other, boxed out a little bit more, but you don't come up to somebody who's waiting to get the ball in play, and you come up and then hip check her and basically knock her down to the ground. I thought that was just the most childish, immature, punk ass ghetto ball I have ever seen in my entire life.
Ghetto ball. I agree.
Right?
It was pretty bush league.
How
And
many times have you seen the guys have that happen to them who are rookies in the league? Even Kobe, we
yeah,
chastised him. We gave him shit for hitting an air ball or something and stuff like that. But I don't think Kobe was ever physically knocked to the ground like that in this way. I mean, they probably could have been, but I don't recall seeing stuff like that.
yeah, no, and he was an anomaly though, you know what I mean? I don't think he got hazed as bad as some of the other rookies in the NBA because he came in high flying, man, and there
Yeah,
was a lot of press behind him.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, I think these girls are very short-sighted. I think they're very they're destroying themselves. It's like they're afraid of their own success. They're afraid to have something good happen, and if it was one of them that was doing it, they would be all over it. But it's a new girl, it's the white girl, it's the one, and I don't like to even push it that it's just because she's
It's just
the
white.
white girl, straight girl.
I mean, there's a few other
But it
white
is what it is.
girls in the WNBA, but it is predominantly black in the WNBA, with a few other colors peppered in there. But I think it's it's really sad because I think it's a real jealousy thing.
Oh yeah.
She came in balling, man, and she came in ready to play. And what I do like about her though is that she doesn't back down.
Nope.
She gets back up. She plays hard. She'll bump back hard, and I
Yeah.
think that's what she's going to need to do to
She's a trash talker.
her respect. Yeah, she talks trash.
She talks trash. She doesn't take shit.
And I like
she's
that
not
about
an
her.
angel.
Yeah, I like that about her. I mean, if you want to play hard and play bump and run and play bush league and do that kind of crap, play a little dirty, she can dish it out just as well as all those other girls.
Yeah,
and
so
I like that she's not holding back on that.
Yeah, and I'm not sitting there going, "Oh my God, you got to coddle her" or anything like that. Oh no, not at all. You can play hard. You could do your rookie hazing thing that you're talking about, whatever. But you don't come up and do cheap shots, and you don't come back over her head and smack her to the ground. You don't like step on her while she's down on the ground because you just knocked her down and shit like that, like they used to do in the NFL.
Yeah,
where the guys come down and they land on you and then they push you into the ground and then they kick you and step on you as they're trying to walk away. And I mean, there was some shit going on. It's the way it went. But it's interesting how they're just sabotaging this, and I'm not a big fan of LeBron at all, and I don't think his son is going to do anything in the NBA. The only reason he got drafted is because of his dad, but that's another topic for another day. But I think he does bring up a good point on this. This is we'll play a little of this stuff, but he has some serious opinions about this, like it says in here. And let's just bring this up. And he's talking about what these ladies in the WNBA are doing, sabotaging their own league. And I think it's a shame because Caitlin and even the whole Caitlin Angel, and sorry, Angel, nobody's watching the NBA or WNBA because of you.
Yeah, sorry, they're not.
It is Caitlin, and I don't care. Hands down, it is.
Well, they're not televising any other games.
No,
but Indiana's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's it.
What does the Chicago Sky do when they play the Phoenix Mercury?
We don't see it.
You see it on ESPN 8, the Ocho. Is what you see
and if you subscribe to the WNBA channel, that's the only time to see it. But those are their families, and friends. I'm sorry, I don't.
I've got 20 tickets, fam. You want to come down and watch me play?
I have like 4 SPNs on my satellite, and none of them are.
I don't get the Ocho.
I'm sorry, I don't get that one.
I'm not getting that one. Anyway, let's listen to what LeBron has to say about
LeBron
this.
James has some serious opinions about Caitlin Clark. Here's what he said about the new WNBA star. After doing incredible work for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Clark became the #1 draft pick in the WNBA and was quickly scooped up by the Indiana Fever. Fans have been more than eager to watch her professional career, as her college run proved how talented she was. Now that the 2024 WNBA season has kicked off, all eyes have been on Clark, even those of the greatest to ever take the court. During an episode of Mind the Game, LeBron James said,
"The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch."
Ding, ding, ding.
Making sure to drive the point home, he said,
"Don't get it twisted. Don't get it up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA."
Ding, ding,
It's
ding.
most certainly true.
Again.
While a handful of rookies have helped pique more interest in the WNBA, you can't deny Clark is leading that excitement. As she continues to take over the WNBA, James hopes the best for her. He said,
"I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills."
James has cheered Clark on for a while now and has become one of her fiercest defenders in the process. Clark's rise to stardom hasn't been all it's cracked up to be. With all her fame has come a lot of hate, and we mean a lot. One person shared on X.
Here, let me have you restate that. I think you broke up there.
Sorry. I just said that when it comes on network, I watch it. You know what I mean? And I watch for her.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I want to see her balling, dude, and she can drain the 3 ball like no other.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't make every single shot, but she makes a hell of a lot of them.
She makes it fun. She makes it entertaining.
She makes it fun. She makes it entertaining. She's taken a 1 and 40 team or whatever, however many games they end up playing, into something where I think they've got double-digit wins now or something like that they haven't had for a long time.
I can't remember. I was doing some research the other day, and I can't find my notes on it, but I think that this was the first year so far, and they're not even. Are they like halfway through their season? I don't know. I don't know where their season runs.
Well, their season is obviously much shorter, and so they could easily be halfway through at least, maybe more.
But they were already in the green, and that team has been in the red since their inception, and they're in the green right now. For all those years of losing so much money, they're in the green within half of a season with this girl.
Yeah,
that's insane.
But let's chastise her. Let's push her out. Let's beat her up. Let's injure her so she can't play.
It's dumb,
and then let's see the ratings just plummet at that point again.
What's a bummer is they're not embracing her as you know what I mean, as this anomaly person that's going to kind of bring this league out of the shit house that it's been in for 30 years, you know?
Well, and then you go beyond this. You start talking about the Olympics. It's like, well, she was dissed and should have been on the Olympic team. Okay, let me explain something to some people that don't understand. Mansplain this to y'all. The Olympics, as wonderful of an event it is to showcase the talent that we have on various sporting events around, that we have somebody who probably, if she was put on the team, oh, well, we can't do that. We have to have the best representation of talent on the court during the Olympic. Okay, shut up. Okay, you're an idiot. The WNBA, the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, and all this stuff, NHL, every it's entertainment. It's entertainment in a sporting event that's entertainment. The Olympics are a money maker. Why do you think NBC has had the Olympics for 150,000 years? Because they make money off of it. They have eyeballs from around the world. They have billions of eyeballs over the course of the 2-week period that the Olympics are in play. And it's about getting eyeballs. If you had, because right now she's not on the team. Do you think I'm going to give a rat's ass about watching the women's basketball in the Olympics with the Team USA?
Yeah.
I could give a rat's, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I could give a rat's. If Caitlin was on the team, I probably would say, you know what? Yeah, let's check that out. Let's see how she holds up against worldwide competition at that point.
Well, and that's kind of what it's about. Seeing our best athletes put in front, put on a world stage, it's a super cool thing, and why not? I know that they have rules and regulations and their point system and all that crap, but at the same time, I mean, they did it with the Dream Team,
right?
Oh
yeah, exactly. And they had college players when the Dream Team kind of first started, because we were just kind of talking about this before we came on, was all these other teams around the world, Russia, China, et cetera, were putting their best basketball players on the courts, and their professional hockey team. That's why the 1980 USA hockey team was the Miracle on Ice was such an amazing win, is because all of these guys were college amateur athletes who played on the men's USA hockey team, who beat the Russians, who had their best pro athletes, because they don't technically really have an NHL type of league that I know of in Russia, especially back in the 1980s and 70s. So they would put all their professional athletes, a lot of their players who played in the NHL, the Russian players were playing in the NHL, were playing on the Russian national hockey team. So for us to beat them with not our NHL players, but our college players was American, was amazing.
And it was super cool.
It was really cool. It was like, oh my God, this was the greatest thing for Team USA that we could have had in a hell of a long time. So then that's what happened with basketball is we were noticing, well, we're having our amateur college athletes play the Olympics. Men's basketball was the college players playing against all the pros who were playing in the NBA or the European leagues or something like that. Paid pro athletes. Well, it used to be the Olympics was like amateur athletes showcasing their talents.
Right.
Right. And then all of a sudden it started to get morphed into this professional shit from all these other countries. And then we decide, well, you know what? Okay. All right. Well,
They're gonna do it.
you want the
They're
best?
gonna do it. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing,
Well,
Reggie Miller.
I liked it
Stockton.
because, you know, those guys were already getting recognition
Right.
here. You know what I mean? And on a global scale as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People from other countries were watching them. And they're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to
Right.
do this. You know what I mean? They're already celebrities. They don't need any more status that they won a gold medal. Like, let the average guy do it. I mean, but not the average guy, but let the lesser known guy do it. You know, the college
Right.
guy or the
That's
you
what the
know,
Olympics are
whatever.
for. Right.
It is, and those guys are really, really talented, and they're not celebrities, and they're not they don't have endorsement deals. They don't have
They're
anything
not
like
making the
that.
money. Yeah.
They're not making the money. They're not, you know, they're not on a stage. And this is the only stage they get to have, you know, and
Why are we
it's only
taking it
gonna
away?
be,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, they only come up, you know, so often.
Every 4
So
years. Yeah.
every 4 years. So you're looking at, you know, they only get the chance to do this in really their prime. And if they can't do it in their prime, they're not going to be able to do it again.
Yeah.
And this is the only chance that they're going to get to do this. And to take that away from them is shitty.
Well, we have
I
taken it
know.
away. The
I
only
hate that.
sports are like men's gymnastics, women's gymnastics, and you know, lesser leagues that they don't have professional leagues.
Yeah, professional
You
leagues.
know,
Yeah.
and it's sad, dude. It's sad that we have done this. But we had to stay up with everybody else. They're doing their pro athlete. Why was this ever allowed? The Olympic Committee allowing this is a joke.
I agree.
And they should have come down harder on this and said, you know what? No, if you are a paid professional athlete, no matter what league it is, you can't play. This is not what the Olympics is all about.
It's not what it's about. Yeah.
And you know, it's a shame, you know, and so now we have, you know, people, we had to do it. Christian Leitner was the one college athlete who hadn't proven himself, who made it onto the dream team back in 1992, I believe it was. And so had he had a chance to prove himself? Was he one of the best to play on the team? Or was Christian Leitner one of the guys who had a ton of eyeballs? Because I believe he played Duke or North Carolina. I can't remember. But was bringing eyeballs. You know, not only did Michael Jordan and all that stuff, but nobody knows these WNBA players.
Yeah.
You know, and to shun Caitlin Clark off of the Olympic team, I think is also a tragedy, a travesty, if you will. And you will. It's just that she would have brought the eyeballs onto the broadcast of the USA women's basketball team in the Olympics. And because they are, you know, I'm sorry, such a righteous league, the WNBA. They've lost money for, you know, 30 freaking years, and they have these high standards of only allowing the best of the best to play on the women's. Nobody gives a shit, dude. Seriously. Yeah. You should have had her on the team. Now, if you put her on the team, you're just pandering.
Yeah.
And it's a joke. It's like, well, you just put me on there because people are complaining and, you know, all that shit. It's like, well, it's kind of too late. So now she's got to wait for 4 more years to prove herself in the WNBA, provided she doesn't get sabotaged by one of these other bitches coming down and taking out her knee or her ankle or something. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I just hope that my hopes and thoughts, I mean, to kind of close out the Caitlin Clark thing,
yeah,
for me at least, my hopes is for her are for her to just become this blowout star
Yeah.
and just dominate that league and do all the things that everybody doesn't want her to do. You know what I mean? And
Just
just
a big to
yeah, I
everybody
want her to
there. You
become
know
the
what?
Michael Jordan or Kobe or
Yeah.
LeBron of this league and just start dominating it in all the ways, not just performance wise, but money wise, endorsement wise, charity wise. I want her to just blow everything out of the water. So if they do try to sabotage her, you're going to see that it is
Little backlash.
intentional and it's blatant, and they can fuck off because she's the woman now. You know what I mean? She's the big dog, and she's going to eat.
She's going to be the one that's going to put the WNBA on the map. If she plays in the league for at least a good decade, probably more, she's going to be the one that's going to up the salaries for all these ladies who are giving her shit. Jesus Christ. There we go. Unfucking believable. End this recording real quick and then we'll finish this off. I don't know why the hell does that always do that? Yeah, we will do a green screen for best performance. No, I get it, dude. Gotta get my virtual background on there.